lack of trust is your biggest expense. Trust is a confident belief in a person or product or an organization.
All I talk about is trust. All I research on is trust. The impact of trust, two fundamental beliefs. Lack of trust is our biggest expense, and there's a way to build it.
Hey, our first guest is a national best-selling author of The Trust Edge.
We're here with David Horsager.
His brand new book, The Trust Edge.
I believe a lack of trust is the biggest expense of a person, a relationship. I believe everything of value is built on trust, from the greatest global governments to the greatest financial institutions to every relationship you have.
David Horsager is with us in Tucson.
We are so thrilled to have him with us. We want to welcome to the stage Dave Horsager.
There's a lot of reasons we don't trust someone. We don't trust the arrogant, do we? How many of you know a know-it-all? How many sit next to one right now? When you're both raising your hand, we got a problem. It's the little things done consistently that make the biggest difference in every area of life. If I'm overweight, it's because I've had too many mocha lattes over months, years, not because I ate too much this morning for breakfast. If I'm a good husband, it's because I've loved and honored my wife over years, not because I gave her a diamond ring and a dozen roses one time. Not that that wouldn't help. How many think transparency is trusted? Transparency is the word of the day, isn't it? In business, vulnerability, gotta be transparent. Gotta be transparent. And yet confidentiality is also trusted. That's why someone who's really trusted must be as transparent as they can while being as confidential as they ought. Many of us think confidence is trusted, but arrogance isn't. Does that ever overlap for people? How? Doesn't matter if we're working with the biggest companies or the smallest practices. You can always get to something you can do differently starting today or tomorrow if you ask how long enough.
Your biggest problem is not what you think it is. It's not a leadership problem, it's not a sales problem, it's not even an engagement problem. It's a trust problem. Do you want to be the most trusted in your industry? David Horsager teaches the fastest way to build and sustain trust, even amidst change. David is the leading expert on how to build trust in a way that will increase sales, drive profits, and create meaningful results for everyone from elite brands and businesses to global governments. As CEO of Trust Edge Leadership Institute and best-selling author, he has taken the platform across the United States and on 6 continents. He invented the Enterprise Trust Indicator and leads the charge in the nation's foremost trust study, the Trust Outlook.
I attend hundreds of leadership conferences, and David's presentation this morning was the best that I've ever heard.
Do not share this program with any of our competitors.
The message sank in with the top leadership of the country, especially the president and the deputy president. The message went home, sank home deep, and it was very clear.
Before I did my graduate research 15 years ago on trust, I thought I knew it all about trust. How many think it takes a long time to build trust? Yeah? It often does, and yet on 9/11, in a moment of crisis, complete strangers trusted each other like that if they were running the same direction. I know you can learn some places how to lose 50 pounds in a week and make $1 million in a month. Trust isn't like that, but it is the only way I know to real, genuine success at anything. Salesperson, professor, parent, or friend. It's not up to anybody else. To be trusted actually does take work, and where all kinds of people and all kinds of experts want to say, oh, you do it this way, and oh, if you give them a chocolate bar, and oh, if you pay them, and oh, if you... Sometime we got to find somebody that has the character to just do it. The trusted brand, you'll pay way more, won't you? You'll come back. You'll tell others. The trusted leader gets followed. The trusted salesperson gets bought from. A lack of trust is your biggest expense, and I believe after the research and everything else, there's nothing more important, whether it's at home or at work, than being trusted. It affects the bottom line, it affects time, it affects productivity more than anything. The only way to rebuild trust, ladies and gentlemen, the only way is to make and keep a commitment. The point is this. Can I look at that? Have I said how until I know I can do something differently starting today or tomorrow? I was asked not too long ago to go to speak in Banff, Canada. How many have been to Banff? Yeah, one of the most beautiful places in the world, isn't it? I was asked to go up there to speak to a bunch of lawyers on trust. And anyway, for those of you, haven't been to Banff, it's beautiful. You fly here from Minneapolis to Calgary. We dropped the 4 kids at the farm with Grandma and Grandpa, and then Lisa and I went and stayed at that Banff Springs. It was beautiful. But what happens is you fly into Calgary, and then you get a rental car, at least we did, and we started driving up the mountain. Banff is right in the middle of the Canadian Rocky Mountains.